Hello and welcome to the WriteCome.com podcast, where we help you to make money from your words. Each episode will be sharing tips, tricks, and strategies you can use to make more money from your writing, publishing, and marketing to your fans and audience. Let's get started with your host, Barry J. McDonald.
Hi, this is Barry here, and you are very welcome to today's podcast episode from WriteCome.com. And today's podcast episode is Problems Are Looking for Solutions. Now, when I was out on my morning walk this morning with Summer, I was listening to an old audiobook by Earl Nightingale, and that was one of the things that had stood out this morning in his piece, was that problems are things that are looking for solutions. Now, for a lot of us, unfortunately, we look at problems as it's almost as if the universe or whatever has thrown a spanner in the works, or as if we've come to a roadblock, or as if it's the end of whatever enjoyment we had. That, a problem is seen as something that is kind of impossible to get past, get over, or get through. And because of that, unfortunately, some of us just kind of give up and just accept it as it is and just say, well, I just can't go any further. This problem is too big for me. But if you do kind of look at a problem as something that is requiring a solution to get through, it does kind of probably will make you look at it in a different way, and it probably will kind of free up your mind to come up with solutions. Unfortunately, a lot of us look at a problem almost like a parent with a toddler who suddenly has a tantrum in the supermarket and they're rolling around and screaming in the aisle. And for a lot of parents, they just want to turn their back on it. They want to look the opposite way and just hope it goes away, rather than actually getting down with the child and kind of getting on their eye level and just speaking to them and just saying, what is the problem? How can we resolve this situation? And unfortunately, 2020 has been the kind of ultimate problem for everybody. It has thrown up a lot of problems for a lot of people, and unfortunately a lot of people are looking to 2021 to be this kind of a clean slate when everything returns to normality, and things can probably go back to the way they were in 2018 and 2019. But for some businesses, they have looked at the problems that they are going through, and they have realized that this problem has some solutions, and sometimes it has made a big difference to their business. In some cases, maybe some offline businesses have gone online, for example, like gyms and things like that are doing online courses, and the majority of business nowadays are kind of doing a lot of things on Zoom meetings, and a lot of people are working from home at the moment. So a lot of businesses have kind of swerved or just kind of veered in the direction that they needed to go, rather than looking at whatever problem they have as something that they just couldn't solve, something that they would probably need to close up shop and hope for everything to kind of resolve itself before they can go back to normality. So I want you to think about whatever problems you are going through at the moment. While they may be tough, that problem is looking for a solution. So what is the solution that could be in it? Now, sometimes, unfortunately, the solutions aren't things that we like to do. Sometimes they may be doing things like that are going to make you uncomfortable. For example, if I go back to my early fiction writing days, when my ghostwriter let me down, the last thing I wanted to do was to write a fiction book, because I didn't have confidence in myself. I didn't think I had the ability to write. And, I'm glad I did get over that. I'm glad I did put in the work, and I'm glad I did write those storybooks, because it did pay off. So that problem did have a solution that was in my benefit. It did make me stretch. It did force me to get out of my comfort zone, and it did make me, look at my business in a completely different way. And because of that, then my business kind of veered. I got into more fiction writing. Whereas if I had have maybe got that ghostwriter at the time, who knows, I probably would have been relying on ghostwriters up until now and never had actually taken those steps. So as I said, there is always solutions to your problem. Sometimes it does take us a little bit of time when we kind of work out what is the way around it. But don't ever look at a problem as just being something that is kind of a roadblock or some kind of thing that you can't get through, over or around. There's always some way out of it. As Bob Proctor said a long time ago, he said, for every question there is an answer, and for every answer there is another question. Now, if you don't believe that, go and spend some time with a toddler, and you are constantly bombarded with questions saying, how do you do this, how do you do that, why do you do that, and why are you doing this, and why you do that. So even for every answer you give them, they always will give you another question. So as Bob said, for every question there is an answer, and for every problem there is a solution. So don't kind of bury your head in the sand. Don't think, well, this is the end of the game, I can't go any further from here. There is a solution, and sometimes it, as I said, it might force you to maybe get out of your comfort zone. It may force you to go in a direction maybe you never even thought before, but there is always a solution to your problem. So keep that in mind today if you are going through a tough time, that there is something that you can do to get around it. So as always, if you'd like to find out more about Rightcom, or if you'd like to reach out to me, you can certainly do that. If you do a search for Rightcom, that's WRITECOME.com, you'll find the content all over Google, all over Facebook, and all over iTunes. And if you want to reach out to me personally, if you'd like to ask me a question or just get in contact for any reason at all, you can send an email to barryjmcdonald@gmail.com. And as always, thanks for sharing your time again today. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us today. If you'd like more from the Rightcom.com podcast, be sure to subscribe now for more tips, tricks, and ideas you can use to make more money from your words. See you in the next episode.